Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Eva and I'm a millennial who loves all things makeup. Today we have a very exciting video. We have my Sephora Spring 2024 sale recommendations video. The Sephora sale does start on April 5th for VIB Rouge members, and then it tiers out from there. I'll have all the information written out down below. The way that this video is going to go this time around is I'm going to be a little more ruthless. I asked on the community tab here on YouTube, I did a poll earlier asking how should I structure this video? And the overwhelming majority, at least at the time of me filming this, preferred that I do a top 3 in every category. So we are going to be pretty ruthless and we are just going to do top 3 in every single category that I feel like talking about. If it's a category that I don't really purchase or I'm not passionate about, obviously I'm going to exclude it. And I did want to also mention as well that I probably won't be doing a video on all of the things in my Sephora cart because it's a lot, but instead what I'll do is I'll be updating my Shop My collection. I'll have it linked down below of like what I'm thinking of buying. I'm gonna need to pare down the cart, but I'll have that linked down below if you're curious. And then I will also have my Sephora sale guide linked down below with all of the recommendations that I'm speaking about today. And then as always, if you want to support my channel, would love if you shop my links in the description. I do earn a small commission from those. Okay, let's go ahead and just get right into it. I want to start off with skincare and hair care. I don't have that many items from this category, but we're going to start there. I would like to start off with hair care. I don't have any like shampoos or conditioners that I'm like particularly passionate about, but instead I do have a few like hair treatments and hair products to talk about. So let me grab those. Here's my little bin of the skincare and hair care I'm going to be recommending. One of the products is the VIB Hairdresser's Invisible Oil Heat UV Protective Primer. Now I have extremely fine hair, but I have a lot of it. So it gets really, really tangly. Every time I wash my hair, it is basically like one giant knot afterwards. And this does an amazing job of detangling it, but then it also is a heat protectant and primer as well. So I don't need to detangle my hair and then put a heat protectant spray on. It is all in one. And I've been repurchasing this for forever. I'm like almost out of this one, so I might restock during the sale. The next hair product I want to talk about is one I actually just started using, but I'm so impressed. And it is the Dry Bar Liquid Glass Miracle Smoothing Sealant. I admittedly used this for the first time the other day, but I am so impressed with the outcome. So I washed my hair and dried it. It was now 2 days ago using this product, and it has done such a fantastic job of keeping my hair relatively smooth. I still get some frizziness here and there, but I was really impressed with this. And what you do is you put it on when your hair is still damp, you just section it out and dry it, and it is also a heat protectant as well. So similar to this one, it does serve more than one purpose, and I had to mention this in this video. If you have frizzy hair or if you have hair that you like to wear straight, I'd recommend giving this a try. The almost last hair care product that I have to talk about is my Ride or Die. I have never found a dry shampoo that exceeds the Living Proof dry shampoo. For a while, it was just their normal one, but then they came out with the Advanced Clean Dry Shampoo, and this one just works absolute wonders. I don't want to spray it right now and get it all over the place, but it's just such a good product for really, really absorbing the oil. It's a dry shampoo, not much more to say about it other than it really works. I will be picking up that new K18 one though. That's like the wet product that you dry. I'll have it linked in my Shop My guide of what I'm thinking about getting if you want to see what I'm referencing. Okay, I do have one more hair care product. I know I said I was going to do 3 in each category, but since I didn't do shampoo shampoos or conditioners, I thought I could sneak this one in. And this is a hair treatment mask. And this is the Crown Affair, the Renewal Mask. And what I love about this, it's just the smell and the sensation when you're using it. It just feels so luxurious. I apply it maybe once a week. And something else to note is you are supposed to seal off the hair follicle with cold water. So in order for this product to be the most effective, at the very end, you are going to do a final rinse of the product with cold water, and it makes your hair really silky smooth. And again, it just smells so good. Let's touch on skincare. A lot of the products that I use are not carried at Sephora, so this category is going to be pretty short. I do, of course, love Paula's Choice, BHA. Like, there are some classics, but I really wanted to just narrow it down to 3 products. The first one is the Shani Darden Moisture Boost Plumping Serum. And this is lovely. I really like traveling with it because it's very hydrating, and I do feel like it does visibly plump my skin when I use it. I also have really sensitive skin, doesn't irritate my skin at all. It's fragrance free. It has a lot of hydrating ingredients, and I've really been loving this product. The next product that I have been loving and I'm almost out of is the Alpen Beauty Super Peptide and Ghostberry Barrier Repair Cream. Now, this is just a really beautiful moisturizer, completely fragrance free. When I use this, my skin just instantly feels soft, hydrated, etc. Like, my skin just loves peptides, and I really love this, and I think I'm going to be repurchasing another one during the sale. The last skincare product I want to touch on is another moisturizer, and this is from the brand Matter of Fact. They've been around for a while, but then they recently relaunched with some new packaging, new colors, etc. And this is their Maximalist Age Defying Moisturizer. They have a couple different ones, so note that this is the Maximalist one. And it is a 4% peptide and hyaluronic acid blend with niacinamide, hexylresveratrol, and patchouli. I never say that word right. Patchouli. I'll put it on the screen. I want to mention as well that if you are sensitive to niacinamide, I normally am, and this did not irritate my skin. I also love that it comes with the airless pump. It's another moisturizer, you know, similar to the Alpen one, that when I apply it, my face instantly feels soft and hydrated. And I really have just been like going back and forth, switching between these two, and I absolutely love them. I did want to touch on SPFs because I have some that I'm very passionate about that I want to chat about. The first one is almost an empty for me, and I picked up this little travel size, I think during the last Sephora sale, and this is the Paula's Choice Youth Extending Daily Hydrating Fluid Broad Spectrum SPF 50. This is such a lightweight moisturizer. It really feels, it kind of feels like you're putting on almost like a toner because it's that liquidy. It dries down really nicely. It wears beautifully under makeup. There's no pilling. There's no weird application process. It's really beautiful, and it's 50 SPF. So I'll probably be purchasing a full size. I don't know if I'll get it during the Sephora sale because Paula's Choice also has a lot of really good deals on their site, so I might just hold out for one of their sales. But if you're in the market for a new SPF and you really want to get one during the Sephora sale, this one's great. The next one is one that I feel so passionate about. In Beauty Project sent me their Mineral Sun Glow SPF. They sent it to me like 2 to 3 weeks before launch, that I had an opportunity to really test it out and get comfortable with it and formulate my opinion, and I love this product. I'll insert on the screen, I did a reel showcasing this, and that'll show you what the finish looks like. And I want to mention it comes in 2 different shades, so fair medium, and then I think it's like medium dark. For me, the fair medium shade works well. If you want a glowy sunscreen, but you find that the Supergoop one is too metallic and tinny on you almost, like you look like the Tin Man, you will really, really love this one. Packaging is also cute, but really great option, and it's really affordable. I don't remember the top of my head like how much it is, but compared to a lot of the other SPFs on the market at Sephora, this is a really good one. And of the 3 SPFs I'm about to talk about, I would recommend picking this one up because it's just fantastic. The next one I don't have in front of me because I think maybe like all of mine expired, but I do want to quickly touch on this Supergoop Glow Screen. I, this morning, was hurrying and getting ready for work, and I grabbed like a recent Sephora box that I had where they'd given me, you know, makeup samples in it, and I pulled out the Supergoop Glow Screen, and I was like, oh, I haven't used this in probably 6 months. Put it on. I accidentally put on one of the shades that is like one of the deeper shades, because now they have different shade ranges of the Supergoop Glow Screen, and it was really dark on me, but I kind of loved it, and that's why I kind of look alive today. Wearing that SPF this morning like really reminded me how much I love it. It is very glowy, so I'd recommend go in store, swatch it. It may be too glowy. If it's too glowy for you, get the In Beauty Project Mineral Sun Glow. But I would also recommend, if you're super fair skinned like me and maybe you fake tan in the summer months and you don't want to fake tan your face just because you don't want to put those products, a lot of them have alcohol in them, on your face, I'd recommend testing out one of the deeper shades of the Supergoop SPFs. I'll leave in the comments below like the specific shade that I wore today to really make me look a lot tanner than I am without it looking completely fake. And it's beautiful. It's like worn all day. I applied this at 6 a.m. I still have that glow. So the pigment has a lot of longevity, and that's just another SPF that I wanted to recommend, particularly with that hot tip of maybe going a deeper shade than you normally would if you want to look a little more tan for the summer. I also have some perfumes, but I'll share those at the end when I do like perfume and then some miscellaneous items. I also wanted to further expand upon my thought process when doing the makeup category because this was so difficult for me. I also took into account like price points of items and whether or not that particular brand goes on sale for a better discount than Sephora. So for example, like Tarte is not mentioned in this video, and that's just because Tarte always has amazing deals on their site, and it like pains me that people purchase Tarte during the Sephora sale, because nothing against the products. I love Tarte, but they always have such good sales on their website. So if there's like a favorite product of yours not in the video, or one that you know I've spoken about a lot, it's not in here because it didn't make the top 3, and it's from a site probably that goes on better discount. So that was some of my logic here. I really tried to focus on like really amazing luxury items that like only make sense to purchase during the Sephora sale because they never go on sale and they're such a high price point. That being said, if something was one of my absolute favorites and it was $18, it's in here as well. So just wanted to preface it with all that. Let's start off with face primers. I narrowed it down to 3, which wasn't too hard because I have a lot of face primers, but I just find I've gotten so lazy and I don't use a lot of face primers. Or rather, I don't use like, I have a bunch of them, but there are only like a few that I use. So this was pretty easy. The first one is the Refi Face Primer Glow and Sculpt. And this, I just love the sensation of applying this. It has a little like roller ball, so you can apply it and kind of like massage and depuff your face at the same time. I've seen some creators put it in their fridge. I've not done that, but I feel like I should because that would just make the mornings even more delightful. And this is just a really nice glowy, no, it's more of like a dewy primer. It doesn't have shimmer in it, but it's one that does make your skin look like nice and juicy and ready for your complexion product. So this is one that I really, really love, and I think it's just interesting. It's unique. I love that roller aspect, and the formula is great too. Next are primers that I've spoken about many times on this channel, and these are the Say Glow Super Gels. Now, these count as one in my opinion because it's the same product. I'm just talking about the different uses. So there are a couple shades of this. The one that I use the most often is Star Glow, which is the traditional champagne color. But then in the summer months, I like to use the shade Sun Glow. You know what? I'll go ahead and just apply Sun Glow here so you can see. Sun Glow provides you with a really nice bronze. This is something that I more so use as a mixer in my foundations or in my moisturizers as opposed to applying it directly on my face, because this one is so much darker than my natural skin tone. But with the Star Glow by Say, this product is so good because it's so multi-purpose. You can really just apply it as a primer. You can wear it on its own on a no makeup day. You can mix it into your foundations, and it really helps liven up a foundation if you have one that's maybe a little bit more on the matte side and you want it to be glowier, or your skin is really dry. It's just a wonderful multi-use product, and I just think these formulas are so great. And you also get a giant thing of them. Say also has a really good set that they just released where you get, I believe you get Star Glow, you get one of their lip glosses, and one other product as well. I will leave that linked down below, and maybe I'll put it on the screen here. If you are interested in picking up Star Glow, I would get that set instead because you're gonna get more bang for your buck. There are a few products actually that I'm going to be speaking about today that come in sets that are pretty new to the Sephora site, so I will do my best to mention that throughout. The final primer I want to talk about is another glowy one, and this is the Westman Atelier Liquid Super Loaded. I think it's missing a word on the label, but it is a liquidy, glowy primer, very similar to the Say one in the sense that you can wear it as a primer, you can mix it in with your foundations. I like the shade, let me shake this. I have the shade Peau de Rose, and I don't want to waste too much of it, but I do want to apply a little here. And it's such a pretty glowy product, and it has like skincare ingredients. So the fragrance, it's not fragranced, it honestly smells like skincare ingredients. It feels super nourishing on the skin, wears beautifully under makeup, and I like that this product has quite a few different shades as well. And this is Westman Atelier, so it's going to be a lot pricier. So it's one that I recommend picking up during the sale because you will save significant amount of money. Moving into complexion, I technically have 4 foundations, but in my opinion, that's not cheating because I combine face tints and foundations. So therefore I was like, okay, I can give myself one extra instead of doing like a whole other face tint category. Also, let me know in the comments below, do you want a face tint roundup? Like, do you want me to rank face tints, talk about my favorites, my hates? I feel like face tints had their moment and they're kind of gone, but if that's something you'd be interested in, please let me know. The first product that I'm going to recommend is one that I forgot to film a video on. Like, I don't know how that happened, but it is the Prada Reveal Foundation. This launched in the UK back in the fall. My husband was actually traveling there for work, and I basically gave him assignment. I gave him like a bunch of different makeup and he like ran around the city getting it for me for my birthday. But I really love the Prada foundation. It's now available on Sephora. It is a pricier foundation, which is why I would recommend picking it up during the sale. First off, let's talk the packaging. It is so luxe. I love the mixed metal on it. I am the shade, okay, that's a good question, you guys. Why can I not? Oh, it's, is it on the component? Okay, I do not know what my shade is. What the heck? That's kind of annoying, actually. So sorry, I can't give you the shade range, but or I can't give you the shade I'm wearing, but it is refillable. So that is one of the nice things about this, because they do sell the refills separately for a little bit cheaper. I think some of the refillable stuff is gimmicky, like the lipsticks. Like, I'm not gonna just I'm never gonna go through a lipstick. I mean, that's a me problem, but the foundation, I actually like the concept of a refillable one. But anyways, this one is a great shade match. If I can figure out what shade it is, I will put it down below in the comments, because that would be helpful information, but it wears really beautifully. It's a fuller coverage than I normally go for, because I go for very lightweight coverage because my skin's so dry. But this one, it's very flattering. It's really beautiful, has great wear time, and again, it's pricier, so the Sephora sale is the time to pick this up. Next is one that I've definitely mentioned in my previous sale recommendations video, and that is the Ciel Tint and Protect Tinted Serum SPF 50. Ciel is a brand that I'm so passionate about. Like, I think I've purchased almost everything by them that they've come out with, except for they just came out with a contour, which I will be picking up. This skin tint is so wonderful. I do have a video where I did a first impressions when I first picked up this product. I'll have it linked up here if you want more in-depth information about it, but it is, in my opinion, like pretty good coverage, especially for being an SPF tinted serum. It wears beautifully. It has SPF 50. The shade range, or rather the shade match for me, is really good. I am the shade number 2, which is fair. I like that it has the little like dripper thing. I don't know why I like that it has that. It's not the most practical, but I don't know, maybe it's like makes me feel like a scientist. Great product. Highly recommend picking this up, especially as we head into the summer months, where it can't hurt to, of course, still wear your SPF, but then layer up with an SPF foundation or skin tint on top. The next product is one that I always talk about and I use almost every day, and I need to repurchase because I'm almost out, and I've only ever finished maybe like 4 foundations in my life because I have so many that I rotate through and I love, but I love this one so much that I'm almost out. And this is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Serum Skin Tint. I am in the shade 2. This, if I could only have one complexion product for the rest of my life, without a question, it would be this product. The reason why is because it is so flattering and it is so easy to blend out. It is wonderful if you have dry skin. It's the right amount, just the right amount of pigmentation, in my opinion. It's not, or rather enough coverage. It's much more pigmented than a normal skin tint, but it still allows your skin to really look like skin underneath. It's also just such a great formula for retouching throughout the day. If you like ever for some reason need to, whenever I'm doing my blush videos, this is the foundation I'm always wearing because it takes no time at all for me to just remove and then reapply, reblend out on my cheeks before I do the next swatch. So I cannot say enough good things about this. And again, this is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Serum Skin Tint. The last complexion product, which is going to be my number 4, which is like kind of cheating but kind of not, is the Fenty Easy Drop Blur and Smooth Tint Stick. I recommend this to anyone and everyone who has dry skin. This is a stick foundation. One of the first stick foundations that has not made me look like a crypt keeper, because my skin is so dry. So many of these stick foundations are drying. They cake up on me, like that Hourglass one. Oh, it looks so bad on me. But this one and the Westman Atelier one are the, off the top of my head. Oh, and the Basma one's really good. Those are the only 3 that I can think of that don't make me look like a crypt keeper. But this one, it's marketed as a skin tint, but I feel like it's just a stick foundation, and maybe they know that stick foundations get a bad rap, so that's why they changed the name. But it, you know what, or maybe now I'm swatching it again, and I'm like, it kind of is like a skin tint, but it has really good coverage. It's really, really malleable. Like it's very juicy and almost like liquidy when you apply it. It's a very unique formula. Very unique formula. The way I like to apply this is I apply it on my face, obviously. I apply it directly to my skin. I like tap it out with, or buff it out with a brush, and then I like to go back in with a dampened beauty sponge to really kind of like smooth it out and add some hydration back into it. I don't know if that logic makes sense, but that's how I like to apply it, and this is fantastic. So, so good. And I'm also the shade 2. So something else that's nice is it seems like a lot of these brands are getting more consistent in their like numbering system for foundations, because 3 out of 4 of these I am the shade number 2. Okay, that is it for foundation / skin tints. Let's talk concealer. I have a lot of concealers that I hate and a lot that I love, but I picked the top 3 that I just keep going back to and have continued to go back to this year. The first one is the Tower 28 One Swipe Concealer. I am the shade BU or BU, I don't know, but I really like this concealer. I also like it for kind of all over the face, in addition to my under my eyes. I also really like the undertone of this. It's very much a neutral undertone, and I find that it's really nice. It's not overly drying. It's pretty hydrating. It creases a little, but if you have wrinkles, like all concealers are going to crease. But this one's really great. Highly recommend checking this one out. The next one is one that is pricier, but it's so great, and that is the Givenchy Prism Libra Skin Caring Concealer. I consider this more of a concealer meets like foundation. There's just something about this formula where it just slides and glides, and if I'm in the hurry in the morning hopping on for a Zoom meeting, I just apply this under my eyes, on my nose, on my chin, on my forehead, on my cheeks, just like dab, 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 swipe, 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 buff, 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 and it looks beautiful. And people actually like will have complimented me before, like via Zoom, being like, what are you wearing on your skin? It is this. The last one is one that's like not new, but it's new to me. In the sense that I finally tried it because they finally released new shades. And this is the Kosas, what is this called? Kosas Revealer Concealer. I've been wanting to try this for such a long time because I'd heard such good things, but they didn't have my shade. But they extended their shade range, and now I am the shade 2.3N. I love this concealer. It's really great for like helping create the illusion of less like hollowed out under eyes. It blends really well, pretty minimal creasing on me, not drying. It's great for my dry under eyes, etc. Really one that like lives up to the hype. We're gonna keep chugging along, or is it chucking along? I'm guessing it's chugging along like a choo-choo train. We're gonna keep going, and we are gonna talk about powders. I have 3 powders, 2 that like I consistently have been using, and 1 that I rediscovered and was like, why did I stop using this? So let's talk about the consistent ones first. So the first one is another CL product. I've recommended this one during my last Sephora sale recommendations video, and this is the CL Filter and Protect SPF 30 powder. Now, I love the puff it comes with. That's very random, but I do love the puff it comes with, and I love how pigmented this powder is. I feel like sometimes you can just wear this on its own and it gives like coverage and cancels out redness. You don't necessarily need to be wearing a foundation underneath. I also really love that there is SPF in this powder because that's something that you can touch up like on the go when you're out and about without having to like reapply SPF everywhere. Being able to have it in powder form is just another nice way to touch up. I do kind of wish, or do kind of wonder and wish and hope that maybe they come out with like a more travel friendly like purse version that you could take on the go for touch-ups, like kind of similar to I think maybe like Color Science has one where it has like a brush at the end, etc. Anyways, CL, if you're watching this, don't worry, I know you're not watching this, but if you are watching this, would love for you to come out with a travel size. The next one is, oh, so good, so good, and that is the Kosas Airy Cloud Set Powder. I love this for all over the face, but especially under the eyes. It is just so smoothing. It works wonderfully with my concealers. I feel like some powders, actually a lot of powders, I have issues with applying them, and then you can kind of see the powder on the face, almost like it's like picking up a lot of the product, like the foundation. You don't get that with this. This one's great. And I also like that they come with, they also sell them in like a little miniature size as well. So if you don't want to commit to a full size, you can get like their little travel size. At least they used to. Hopefully they still carry those. Oh, and then I am the shade Airy, but then I also have a darker shade that I wear in the summer, but for year round, I am Airy. Okay, the last one is one that I rediscovered, and I don't know why I ever wasn't using it, and that is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Diffused Light. Like, I always have appreciated the powders of Hourglass, but mainly the blush powders. But rediscovering like their OG diffusing powder has been a wonderful experience. It's always fun like falling back in love with a product that was once super hyped or that you like used to fawn over, and then with all the new makeup releasing, you kind of just forget about. This is just so good. And I am the shade Diffused Light. It's so flattering. It does a good job of like setting product while still making your face look alive and not overly matte. It's just worth every penny in my opinion. I did want to quickly mention the powder I am going to pick up during the sale is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake powders. She just released them in the fragrance-free version. And I hadn't purchased them because they were so overly fragrant, but I definitely will be picking one of those up to try. Let's quickly touch on brushes because I have them ready to go in front of me, and the three brushes that I want to recommend are, the first one is from Makeup Forever. This is one that I purchased because State of Kate here on YouTube had recommended this, I believe, in one of her previous Sephora videos, so I bought it, and it is lovely. And this is the Makeup Forever 109 Wavy Brush. And it is a great foundation brush that you get little to no streaking with. I need to wash mine because it's starting to streak, which is a sign that there's too much product on it. Beautiful brush, really high quality. It is on the pricier side, so a good one to pick up during the sale, but it is one of the best foundation brushes available at Sephora that I've ever used. So recommend checking this out if you are in the market for a brush. Next brush that I freaking love is the I think this is the Buffer brush. It doesn't have a name on it, but I love this dense little brush for applying my cream bronzers. It does such a good job of just like getting in the product, really blending, buffing it out, etc. I don't know, I think it's cute. I like that it like can stand on your tabletop. Great, great, great for cream bronze products. This last one, oh, I'm so obsessed with. This is the Patrick Ta 4-Face 3 brush. So Patrick Ta has quite a few dual-ended brushes. This one is so good. This has a great side for applying cream blush and then a great side for powder blushes. This is one where I like truly love both sides of the brush. Sometimes some of these dual ones, I'll be like, okay, well that end's crap. Like now I have this brush and I don't use half of it. This one is so great, not only for applying, of course, his blush duos, but any cream or powder cheek products. This one is so good, so soft, so functional. Really recommend. And again, this is the Patrick Ta Face 3 brush. Let's move in to bronzers now. So I'm doing bronzer and contour separately because they are two separate things. Sometimes I know people get confused, but there are particular products that I like for contour and then other ones that I like for bronzer. So for bronzer, I talk about this all the time, and mine is really, really old because now the new one is this big. And this is the Milk Makeup Cream Matte Bronzer in the shade Baked. The new ones don't look like this. They're tiny. But the formula of this is so good. It's lasted me so long. I still have so much product. The way I like to apply this is I like to just get a sponge. I like to get like a brush, like this LYS Beauty one, put it on the brush first, tap it on, and this is just the perfect undertone for me. Bronzers can sometimes look way too orangey. This one in Baked is absolutely beautiful. And this is one that I can't get enough of. I use it almost every day. The next one is a powder bronzer. This is one that's very beautiful, but very expensive, and it is the Gucci bronzer. I have the shade 01, and it is a really pretty, like, rosy undertone blush. It's one where, because of the tone, I feel like I can wear it and not need to wear a blush because it has more of that rosy undertone. Let's see if you can kind of capture some of it. Let's see if we can get this to focus. There we go. It's a really unique tone. It's really pretty. The formula's really, really great. And then also the packaging is, I mean, it's like an Art Deco piece. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then you get, you know, the little brush. I never use these, but absolutely beautiful. And this is one that I highly recommend, especially during the sale, to save that money. Next one is another cream bronzer that I love, and that is the Say Sun Melt cream bronzer in the shade Light Bronze. I have two shades. I think they came out with an even lighter one. I really like both of them. I love pairing this with this brush. It really melts into the skin. Like, Sun Melt is such a great name for this product because it blends seamlessly. It really melts into the skin. I also really love the undertone of this one, and it's just a really great product. Contours. I have a lot of contours that I love, so this one was like a little bit hard. The first one is the Milk Makeup one. So this is the Milk Makeup Sculpt Stick in the shade Toasted. So by the way, this is the size that the bronzer now comes in, and it's the same price. So that's shrinkflation for you. But Toasted, I love the undertone of it. It's a really nice, it's not quite, yeah, it has a little bit of a gray, which is what you want in a contour. Really great for my fair skin. Also, as annoying as it is that they shrunk the sizes down, this size is really great for applying the contour because I could just apply it directly to my face and blend it out without over applying. The next contour is the Face Trace from Westman Atelier, specifically the shade Biscuit. I'm fairly certain that she wisely came out with a smaller size of this, so if you don't want to commit to the big size, there is a smaller size now available. And this one is not only really beautiful packaging, but it's an interesting, like a little bit more of like a rosy tone of contour. So this one I would say you could also use as a bronzer too, because it doesn't have as much gray in the undertone. But another really great contour product that I love. The final contour I want to touch on, it's mainly, like, yes, it's for the formula, but specifically this shade. And this is the Fenty Beauty Cream Cheeks Out Cream Bronzer in the shade Amber. So Amber is such a perfect contour shade because, again, you get that really, really gray undertone, which is what you want in a contour. You want it to actually look like a shadow. Let me swatch that one here. So here we have the Fenty one, here we have the Milk Makeup, and then here we have the Westman Atelier one. Now that I'm looking at it, it's interesting. The Westman Atelier one is so much like more brown than these two are definitely more of contours, I would say, than the Westman Atelier one. As far as ones I want to try, the Sephora collection just launched a $14 stick contour that I'm going to be trying. So I'll have it in my shop my guide for what's in my Sephora cart if you're interested in checking that out. Now we have to move into blush. And this was so difficult because, as you know, well, if you've watched my videos before, blush is my favorite category. I am obsessed. I'm a blushaholic, etc. But what I did allow myself to do is I did allow myself to pick 3 blushes in blush category. So, for example, we have liquid blush, we have powder blush, and then we have cream blush. Because just picking 3 was truly impossible and something I emotionally wasn't able to do. Let's get started first with the powder blush recommendations. The first formula I'm going to recommend are the Haus Labs blushes. I did a whole video swatching this particular new shade. This is in French Rosette. I will have that video linked up here. And this formula is so pretty. It's so silky smooth, super soft, super blendable. Just a really great formula all around. And I highly recommend, if you have not yet tried these, picking one of them up during the sale. Next one is an oldie but a goodie, and like one of my favorite blushes, particularly in the shade of all time, and that is the Hourglass blush in the shade Mood Exposure. I have like bigger ones in the like holiday palettes, but I always like to use this little guy that I have here. It's just, I mean, oh, let me swatch it. It is such a beautiful, subtle, tawny pink color. It's just so flattering. Love it, love it, love it. And Hourglass products are really expensive, so I recommend picking them up during the sale. The final powder blush that I'm going to recommend is the Gucci blush. I love these Gucci blushes. Not only is the packaging beyond to die for with the little stars, the formula is just absolutely gorgeous. I have so many different shades. Like, it's impossible for me to recommend a particular shade. Like, you have to make that decision for yourself. I can't be burdened with that. That's too difficult. But any shade you pick, you can't go wrong. They're so silky, they're so smooth, they're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. I'm making up a lot of words today. They're gorgeous. The packaging is what luxury beauty packaging should be. They're, I believe, $50. So if you're gonna get them during the Sephora sale. Moving into cream blush, this was hard because there are so many cream blushes that I love, but I wanted to go with my gut, and my gut was telling me to recommend 3 blushes that are new that I just can't get enough of. The first one is from Kaja. This is the Kaja Dewy Bar. I will link to my blush video again up here, maybe down also in the description. I go in depth about this formula. Obsessed. I ended up ordering the rest of the shades because that's how obsessed I am with this formula. It also wears beautifully on the lips. It's a true multitasking product. It's dewy, but yet it somehow lasted like 10 hours on me. So check out this formula if you like cream blush. The next formula I want to touch on is another new one, and that is the Basma Cream Blush. Love this formula. It's a little bit of like a stiffer formula, and it's very buildable. So it starts off being pretty sheer, and then you can really build it up. This one is great for someone who is maybe like more of a beginner in makeup because it's really hard to overdo it with this blush. I love a lot of the shades, but my favorite is this mauve shade because it is so great for everyday wear. The last blush I'm going to recommend, it's not new, but it's just one that I just consistently recommend because it's so good and it's such a good value for the price. And that is the Patrick Ta Double Take Cream and Powder Blush Duo. All the shades I've tried are wonderful. I just randomly grabbed one, this is the shade Just Enough. But these, if you are unaware, come with a cream blush and then a powder blush. He actually recommends you do the powder first and then top it with the cream. The thing I love about this product is they're beautiful independently, you don't have to wear them together. So I feel like you really are getting 3 products in one. You're getting the powder blush, which you can wear alone. You're getting the cream blush that you can wear alone. And then you can combine them together to really intensify and get a third blush shade and third blush finish. So these are worth every penny in my opinion. And the Patrick Ta site doesn't really go on sale, or when they do, it's typically around the same as the Sephora sale with 20% off. Liquid blushes. I have to recommend the NARS Afterglow liquid blushes. I will insert a link at the top to my video where I swatched like the initial launch of these. They've since come out with a couple of new colors. This is one of the new ones in the shade Secret Lover. And what I love about this formula is it is so blendable. It takes like 2 seconds to blend out. It's very forgiving as well. Like, I love the Rare Beauty liquid blushes, but those can be a little bit scary because they're so pigmented. These are just the right amount of pigmented. I blended that out in just a couple of seconds. And they have really great wear time, a really nice shade range, and a lot of shades that are really flattering for different skin tones. So highly recommend trying these out if you have not yet. The next liquid blush is one that I also recommended during my last Sephora sale video. It's another CL product, and this is their Blush and Protect SPF 50 blush. This is the shade January. I've loved every shade I've tried, and similar to the NARS liquid blush, these just blend out so beautifully and so seamlessly. They also have SPF 50, so of course that's not going to replace your SPF, but I love products that have additional sun protection because it can never hurt to double up, triple up, quadruple up on your SPF. So if you have not yet tried these liquid blushes from CL, they are so impressive. The last liquid blush, it's the Say ones. I mention these quite often because they're just so good. It's kind of impossible for me to pick a favorite shade, but one that I like to return to and one that I think is a great one for year round is the shade Chili. And these have an interesting texture, whereas the NARS ones are a little more liquidy. These feel like a little more serum-y almost. Like, to me, it kind of feels like if you were to take the Say Super Glowy Gel and then add in like a really pigmented liquid blush, almost like the Rare Beauty, and mix that together, that's the finish that you would get with these. So these are great. They've also added a few other shades to their range recently, so recommend checking these out. Super flattering. And I know I keep repeating myself. I keep saying, recommend checking this out, yada yada. There's only so many ways I can say that in this video. Jumping into highlighters, let's talk about the Rare Beauty highlighter. So even though the Rare Beauty Luminous Pinch blushes were kind of a flop for me, these highlighters, whew, these are absolutely gorgeous. This one I just swatched is the shade Exhilarate. And then this is the shade Enlighten. And these are so finely milled. They really melt into the skin. They don't emphasize texture. They're super beautiful, very blinding. And they also came out with some new shades recently. So some deeper shades, then they have a bunch of the lighter shades. They're also beautiful on the eyes. They look like little Polly Pockets, and they're under, I believe they're under $30. So this is one of my top highlighter recommendations. Next highlighter recommendation would be the Bio Radiant Gel Powder Highlighter from Haus Labs. Let's see how long until they reformulate these and shrink them down. But for now, you get a massive amount of product. You get 8.5 grams, 0.3 ounces. This is the shade Sunstone. I mean, so pretty. Another formula that really melts into the skin. I'm not wearing highlighter right now, so I'm just gonna take a little bit on this really old Real Techniques fan brush and just, ooh, you can see I am looking in the viewfinder now and it's definitely showing up. It also melts into the skin similar to the Rare Beauty ones, where it's not like gonna just look like a big stripe on your face. It really does sink into the skin, gives you such a beautiful glow. And they have a lot of fun shades in this formula. They have like a really cool silver one. They have like an orange one that makes a really pretty blush actually if you're on the fairer side. But for like an everyday highlighter shade, for me, Sunstone is a beautiful one. The last highlighter recommendation I have, I cannot find it right now. I spent some time searching for it. It's somewhere in this messy room, but it is the Dior like baked highlighter quad. I will put it up on the screen, and this formula is so stunning, and I love that you get 4 different shades. If you only pick up one highlighter of these 3, I would recommend picking that up because you get 4 different shades. Beautiful, melts into the skin, very similar praise, and same reasons why I like the other 2 highlighters is why I like that Dior one, but then you get the bonus of getting 4 shades instead of 1. Let's take a break from like complexion and cheeks and let's talk about eyes. One product that I didn't have 3 in the category that I felt the need to chat about, but I did want to mention is the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion Anti-Aging, specifically the anti-aging one. I love this. It's great. It does sometimes go on sale for the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, so I don't know, like if you don't need one right now, I wouldn't get it during the Sephora sale, but if you do need an eyeshadow primer right now, this one is so good. I've been repurchasing this for years. They have a couple different finishes, but again, the anti-aging one is my favorite. Eyeshadow palettes, this was really hard to just narrow down to 3. It really was, but we did it. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Tom Ford Eye Color Cream Quads. These launched maybe 2 years ago, and this is the cream, or like the cream to powder Tom Ford formula. This particular shade is the Iconic Smoke. I did a video, I'll have linked, where I did an easy smoky eye look with this. Every shade, or rather every color combination I've tried in this formula has been amazing, but this one in particular I find to be so good if you are a beginner who wants to be able to do a smoky eye without looking like a raccoon. Like, it took very, very few steps for me to create a very wearable, smoky look that looked pretty decent, if I will say so myself. So love this formula, and then particularly the shade Iconic Smoke is one I would recommend checking out. These are so expensive. They're stupid expensive. I think they're now $90, if not $95. So if you're gonna get them, you wanna get them during the Sephora sale. All of the palettes that I'm recommending are quads for the most part. No big palettes this year. The next one, I talked about it previously in my last Sephora sale video, but it is the YSL Couture, why can I speak? Couture Mini Clutch Eyeshadow Palette. These are beautiful. Not only is the packaging, the little quilted packaging, super cute, but the formula is to die for. So this particular one is in, what shade is this? Okay, so that was an issue that they had when they first launched these. To give you a little behind the scenes, they originally launched these on the YSL site and select retailers, but there were issues because they were not glued in properly. So what just happened to me happened to a lot of people, and it's why the launch was delayed at Sephora. So the good thing is, if you purchase them now, you're no longer going to run into that issue. So I need to actually take the time and glue this back in. Okay, that was a close one. So what I was saying before this flew to the ground is this formula is beautiful. I'm kind of scared to put it up close. I don't want this to fall out. This is the shade 400. And this particular one, you get really pretty pinks and purples. You get 2 shimmers. No, in this one you get 3 shimmers and then a matte. And this formula is so easy, so blendable. A lot of really great color combinations. I also feel like for a luxury brand, the price point is fair. I believe they're like $68, which is still a lot, but compared to like the Tom Ford $95 ones, these are cheap, which is crazy to say, but these are definitely more affordable. And if you can find a color combination that speaks to you, pick this up. You will not regret it. The last palette I'm going to recommend is from Prada. So it's very dirty because it shows the fingerprints, but this is the Prada Dimensions eyeshadow palette. This is in the shade 02. So you get 4 shades. This particular one I picked out because they're really unique. You get this mustard yellow shade. You get this really pretty gray shade, and then you get a silver that's super metallic. Oh my God. And then you also get a black shade. I'm just swatching these pretty messily on my hands so you can see what they look like. But I mean, look at that silver. Holy moly. Like, look just how wet looking that silver is. And that was one really quick swatch. And look at that black. I mean, this formula is super soft. I also love the different finishes because you get a matte. You almost get like, I want to say like a velvet matte that has a little bit of shimmer. You get that metallic shade. And then in this case, you get the black, but the color combinations are really creative as well. These are pricey. They're $80, but at least the packaging is more creative and cooler than the Tom Ford ones. They do have a refillable option. So if you wanted to, you could just buy one of the cases and then buy the refillable ones. But again, I don't really know if that's super beneficial because who's gonna really like finish an eyeshadow palette? If you're a makeup lover, you're probably not going to, but it is nice that they have that option. And I really want, there's a really cool one that has like a seafoam green in it that I've been eyeing, but it's currently sold out. So for the best, but this eyeshadow palette and formula it's worth every penny. We are moving through this pretty quickly. I'm trying to really keep it going. Let's do eyeliners. Now, I want to talk about specific shades in formulas that I like. I'd recommend these formulas on their own, but particularly these shades I think are really unique and fun to add to your collection. The first one is from the Sephora collection, the 12-Hour Colorful Crayon, and this is in the shade Soft Rose. And this one, it's just a really unique eyeliner shade. So it is what it sounds like. It is a soft rose, and I find that using colors like this, if I use it properly, it won't make me look like I have pink eye. It will actually make my blue eyes pop because this type of shade is on the other end of the color wheel to blue, I think. The other one I want to recommend is one that my sister got me because it's great for blue eyes, and it is the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil, specifically in the shade Lucky. This shade and this formula is so creamy, but it is a true like copper penny shade that really enhances your eyes if you have blue eyes. The last eyeliner I want to recommend, and this is for a specific shade because I actually have not tried any of the other shades, but this is from Natasha Denona, and this is the Macro Tech Eye Crayon in the shade Fuchsia. And this is a really fun shade. This is a vibrant mustard yellow. So really unique shade. You can do a really fun like graphic liner with this if you want. I'm not talented enough to do that, so I'll do this in the waterline if I'm wearing some more fun shadows, and it's really unique. So I recommend these 3 formulas and then these 3 particular shades, and I will have the shades listed out in the description as well. I'm gonna touch on mascaras. The Tower 28, I mean, this one's worth the hype. Great for sensitive eyes, great for anyone, everyone, doesn't smudge, great curl. It's great, and I think they came out with a brown one that I might pick up during the sale, but this is the jet black one. There's also a set, or maybe a couple of sets, where you get a full size of this and then a bunch of other products for an additional like $10 or $15. So I'd recommend, if you want to pick up this mascara and you're interested in any of the other products in those sets, pick up the sets, and I will have those sets linked down below, because this mascara is great, and if you want to pay $10 more for a bunch more products, I always recommend doing that. Another mascara that I discovered this year that I've really been loving is the Benefit Fan Fest. I started out by getting just the little travel size of this, but it is a great mascara for really separating and lifting your lashes. Doesn't irritate my eyes, gives you a really good lift, a nice curl, and I recommend checking this one out. Another one that I started using because I was influenced by Alex Earle is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, which I've been using for a gajillion years, but specifically the brown shade, and I think it's just called Chocolate. And this formula is really great. It does a great job of building up the lashes, and I love a brown mascara. So if you're in the market for a brown mascara, this is a great one. Okay, brows. I only really have 2 products that I think are worth talking about. I mean, I love the Anastasia like Brow Wiz and the Benefit brow product that's very similar to the Brow Wiz. I had it in front of me, now it's gone. I mean, you probably already own those though, so I don't think that's anything to write home about. But the eyebrow product that I have to talk about is the Rare Beauty Flexible Lifting Gel. Rudy Berry, if you follow her on social media, gave this her like Berry Best Award, and it provides such good lift and grip, and it lasts all day. It's also under 20 bucks. This one is probably one of the best brow gels I've ever used. I like to just use a brow pencil underneath and then top it with this, and then you're good to go. If I'm in a hurry and I don't even have time to do that, I love using a tinted brow gel, and I was the biggest boy brow fan for forever, and I still love that product, but Sephora collection came out with a tint and volume brow gel that I keep repurchasing, and it's great. I like this shade 1.5 Taupe. It's really great for my undertone, for my hair color, etc. And this one's under, I don't know, probably under $15, so this is one I'd recommend. The angle might look a little different because I had to switch to my iPhone because my camera died, and it's now after 9 p.m. and we've got to keep going. Lips. Lip products are my second favorite category after blush, so this was hard, but we are going to like break down the lips into subcategories. So discussing lip liner first, I want to talk about some formulas and then some specific shades as well. The first one is the Tower 28 Multi-Liner, specifically in the shade Work of Art. It's a great neutral everyday liner. There's also a set that just came out where you get this liner in a limited edition shade of the Tower 28 Gloss, which is a formula that I love. And you save a lot of money that way if you were interested in the gloss as well. So I will have that linked down below, but I recommend picking that up or picking up this alone. It's just such a great, sorry, there's like no attractive way to talk and apply this. Such a great neutral. It's also one that's really great for overlining your lips, which I'm currently doing while looking in a mirror that's below me. So this is gonna look kind of crazy. It's just such a great neutral shade, and they have 2 other shades that I have and I like as well, but I'm hoping they extend their range because there's just something really nice about this super emollient formula. The next one I want to talk about is one that I recently picked up because I was influenced by State of Kate and then Dev's Day on Instagram. And that is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Medium Lip Liner. So I've always been a fan of the Charlotte Tilbury lip cheats, but the medium Pillow Talk is such a pretty rose shade. They also just came out with Pillow Talk Fair. It's not on the Sephora site yet. I'm hoping it arrives before the sale ends because I will definitely be picking that up. But this is Pillow Talk Medium, and it's a really pretty shade that goes with a lot of the lip products that I already have. The next lip liner formula I want to talk about is one that I think is pretty underrated and underappreciated, and that is the Anastasia lip liner. I picked these up during the Sephora sale, I'm gonna say last year, and these are so great. This is the shade Dusty Rose. It's kind of similar to Pillow Talk Medium, but it is a deeper shade. I really love the formula of this. It's a little bit stiffer and less emollient, but I find that it lasts a really long time. I also like how precise you can be with the application because it is a little bit stiffer. You can apply it and you don't have to worry about it like going outside the lines, if that makes sense, because it's much sharper than the other two lip liners that I talked about. But this formula is so, so great and not enough people talk about it. Next lip category I am talking about is lip oils. Love lip oils. I feel like every brand on the planet has launched lip oils over the past year, but the three I want to talk about, okay, I have the third one, but I use it all the time. It's in one of my bags and I can't find it. So one of them I'll have to put on the screen. But the three we're going to talk about are the In Beauty, the Ami Collet, and then the Clarins one, which is not in front of me. But the In Beauty ones, this is the Mystery Glaze one. I love all the shades in this formula. They're super unique. They're really affordable. They're usually sets as well. So make sure there's a set available, or rather, if you're interested in picking one of these up, look at the sets because you might decide it's worth it to pick up a few more shades, but they're beautiful. I love this formula. It reminds me a lot of the Dior formula, but they're way more shades. It's a super friendly price point and they're actually hydrating and really comfortable on the lips. Ami Collet, holy moly, these lip oils are so amazing. They are so pigmented and they last so long. This is the shade Romance. They have really, really good grip to the lips and they're not sticky. They're just, I love these. This is, I mean, obviously these are my top three, but like this formula by Ami Collet, if you get one lip oil from this bunch, I would say get the Ami Collet one because I think the formula is the most unique just because of how like opaque and like long lasting they are. The last one is the Clarins lip oil. I love this formula. I only have one. I'm tempted to pick up more shades, but I feel like I need to stop buying lip oils. But I love the Clarins one. It's super comfortable. It's an oldie but a goodie. They recently came out with a couple more shades. I believe they're $30, which is like now like a good price for a lip oil. But if you've not checked out that formula, very hydrating. They also smell so, so good. The next category I created, it's like kind of arbitrary, but I needed a category to fit these into and it works. It works. The next category is balm slash lip treatment. So these are three products that I have absolutely fallen in love with, and they are either a balm or a lip treatment. So they kind of work. The first one, oh my gosh, this is so good. These are the Ole Hedrickson Pout Preserve Peptide Lip Treatments. I mean, so many brands came out with lip balms this past year, but this formula, there's just something, I don't know. I really, really love it. This is the shade Cocoa Cream. Very pigmented. pigmentation wise reminds me a lot of the Summer Fridays ones, which I also love. I had to pick three, and Summer Fridays was going to be like my number 4 pick. It was really hard to decide, but I love these. There are 4 shades currently, I believe. I hope they come out with more. The pigmentation is really beautiful. They each smell unique. I also have the strawberry one, which I love, love, love. And I feel like not enough people are talking about these. So again, these are the Ole Hendrickson Pout Preserve Peptide Lip Treatments. Okay, the next balm I want to talk about, it's so expensive, but these are so good, and they just came out with a new shade like last week. These are the Givenchy Rose Perfecto Liquid Balm. So these come with like a swirl in them, and they are a liquid balm, but they're very pigmented. So this is the shade 110, which is like a nude shade. I don't know the shade name. Oh, something's going on with the lid here. And this is the shade. It's super pretty for everyday wear. I have a couple other shades of these, and they're super comfortable, but very pigmented, and they're just a balm. I also like that they're very easy to apply on the go. Like, you don't need a mirror. You can't over apply it. You can't mess it up. The packaging is really luxe. It's a beautiful formula, and great time to take advantage of 20% off because they are so freaking expensive. I'm talking fast because I gotta go to bed soon. This next balm product is from Lawless, and this is, what are these called? These are their like plumping tinted balms. So Lawless is well known for their amazing plumping lip gloss. Well, this is a tinted balm, and you get that same plumping sensation on your lips, and they do help kind of plump up your lips a little bit. They don't completely eliminate your lip lines, but they're really flattering, especially if you are on the older side, you have lip lines, etc. I have a few different shades. One of my favorites is this one, Georgie. And these are really great, and I think not enough people talk about these. They're a wonderful everyday lip product. Let's talk glosses. There's so many glosses I love. This one was also hard, but we had to make cuts. The first one I'm going to talk about is the House Lab pH Hybrid Lip Glaze Gloss. Love these. Had a video on them. I'll insert the video. These are wonderful. I really love the shade Macaron. I love all the shades I picked up, but these are very much what they claim to be. They are a hybrid, like, gloss slash lip oil. They're definitely more pigmented than a lip oil, but like less pigmented than a super pigmented lip gloss, if that makes any sense. They're very much middle of the road as far as pigmentation level. Very flattering, very comfortable. Next, we have Lawless. I just mentioned how much I love those Lawless balms. I love the Lawless glosses. This is the shade Watermelon. This one's a great shade for summer. And these do plump your lips without stinging them. This is that shade Watermelon. I really want to pick up the Cherry collection that they came out with for the summer. But yeah, these are wonderful glosses, and they're great for anyone and everyone. The last gloss I want to talk about is one that I think really gets ignored, and it shouldn't. And these are the Refi Tinted Lip Glosses. These come in kind of like a plain little chic lip balm applicator, and then they have the metal applicator on the top, and these are extremely pigmented. So this one is the shade Fawn, which is a really pretty, like, milky brown. There's also a red. There's a bunch of different colors, and here, I'm just going to apply this on top of what I already have. And not only do I love the sensation of applying these because of that metal tip applicator, but they're super juicy and flattering, very pigmented, super comfortable. You don't get that cobwebby thing. They're not sticky. These are glosses that I think should go viral, in my opinion. Like, very underhyped, Very underrated, but absolutely love these. Final lip category we have is just lipstick. This was very hard because I love luxury lipsticks, but 3 formulas and then like some specific shades really stood out to me. The first one, Prada, again, like Prada killing it. Beautiful packaging. This is their soft matte formula. This is the shade, God, what is this shade? They don't say it on the packaging. Oh, it's P155. I'll have that specific shade name in the description, but they're very, very pretty. They're matte without being drying. They also have like a hyper matte formula. This is the soft matte formula. Very pretty, lots of really great shades. One thing is they're fragranced, and I don't like that. I don't like that, but it's not the end of the world. If the formula is good and the color is good, I will ignore that. But I did want to mention they're super fragrant. So if that's a deal breaker for you, you will want to avoid. But really, really beautiful. And I kind of want to pick up, there's like a bright red shade that I have been eyeing. Next up, let's talk YSL. These are the Rouge Volupté candy glazes. So these aren't just like the traditional YSL lip glazes. These aren't the traditional YSL like shiny lipsticks. These are specifically their candy glaze formula, which launched last year. This is in the shade 05. And these are so pretty. They're very pigmented. You get a really nice glass-like finish on the lips. And I mean, the packaging's beautiful. They're expensive, but I think there is a set right now where you get 2 different shades. If that's the case, I will have that linked below. But I would recommend, if you're in the market to pick up a luxury product during the sale, treat yourself to one of these because the formula is pretty unique. The last lipstick formula I'm going to talk about is from Charlotte Tilbury, and these are just like their, I think it's the KISSING formula, particularly these 2 new shades that came out. So I was kind of like, why is she like doing this random lip launch? But then I tried these shades on in Sephora. I left the Sephora and then I went back and bought them because that's how pretty they are. So this is the shade Red Carpet Pink right here. Very pretty pink shade. And then the other one that I'm surprised by how much I loved after I tried it on is the shade Candy Chic. And it's a really, really pretty pink here. These are just such beautiful pinks for spring and summer, and I'm so glad I picked these up. And I'd recommend checking out these new shades. Fragrance. I'm recommending 3 fragrances that I love, not based on like the season though. Like some of these might be more like winter scents, but I love them, so I'm going to recommend them. The first one is Kayali Yum Pistachio. I also have the full size. This is such a beautiful, unique fragrance. It's gourmand without being overly sweet. This one's actually really good for year round in my opinion, because the gourmand kind of makes it feel fall winter, but then the pistachio kind of makes it spring summer as well. This is one that totally lives up to the hype. The next one I'm going to recommend, I did also get the full size because I'm so obsessed with it, and it is the Angel Share perfume by Kilian. Oh my god, this is the best smelling perfume I've ever smelled on planet Earth, ever. It is spicy and gourmand. It lasts also all day on me. This one's definitely more of a fall winter scent, if I'm being honest, but if that doesn't bother you and you're like, I just want to pick it up while it's on sale, the Kilian's Angel Share, so good. The last one I want to recommend is from Fleur, and it is the perfume called Father Figure. Now this is one, when I just smelled it first, I was like, oh, it's okay, it's nothing special, but the way it works on my body chemistry, it is just so unique, so beautiful. I believe It has like fig in it. This is a really beautiful one, I think, for year round. And I also randomly want to point out, I love that it has that magnetic top. So those are 3 perfumes I wanted to call out, but there are so many I love. One that I'm eyeing and one that I tried in store and I fell in love with was the Replica Garden. In the Garden perfume, that one's newer. I'm going to be picking up, I think, the little travel size during the sale. I have a few body care products I wanted to touch on. One of them, I feel like now I can't live without this. This is from the brand Honey, and this is their Water Balm Instant Hydration Body Mist. And you apply this when your skin is still damp, when you're just getting out of the shower, and it smells so good. It's a really lightweight body oil that actually absorbs, so you're not gonna feel greasy or gross after you apply it. And the fragrance of this, it's so good. It reminds me, I feel like it kind of smells like the beauty department in Nordstrom. Like when I'm smelling this now, that is the memory that's coming to mind. That may be inaccurate, but to me, that's what it's smelling like. And I love this product. I think I'm on my 2nd bottle. Next body care product that I am obsessed with is the Youth to the People Superfood Cedar Woods Fresh Greens Elevated Self Hand and Body Lotion. This is like a newer launch from them. Oh my God, I'm gonna apply some to my hands right now just to remind myself of the fragrance. And not only does it smell absolutely amazing, oh, it smells to me like one of my favorite diptyque perfumes. I can't remember the name of it, but it really does smell like grass and cedarwood. That's the best way I can describe it. And there also is a body wash of it that I might pick up during the sale, but it absorbs really quickly as well. Very similar to the Honey product where I'm putting it on my hands right now, and in a few minutes, it's not going to feel greasy, which is important if you are like me and you work on a computer. It's just gross putting hand lotion on and then having to wait forever and getting it all over your keyboard. So highly recommend this. And also I want to mention it's very much a more masculine fragrance, which is what I lean towards. So this is definitely a unisex scent. The last body care product I'm going to talk about is one that, you know, Gen Alpha is just obsessed with right now, but it's warranted. And it is the Sol de Janeiro. This is not the Bum Bum Cream. This is the Delica Drench Body Butter. And this is the one that people on social media were convinced was attracting spiders. That turned out to be just a total lie, so no worries about that. But this one smells so good. I'm not great at describing scents, so definitely look up on the Sephora site the description of the scents. Or what I'll do is I'll actually put it on the screen above what the key notes are, but this just smells so good. And something that I really appreciate about the Sol de Janeiro body butters and the Bum Bum Cream is the fragrance lasts for a decent amount of time. I find that so many fragrance body lotions and body butters, they really disappear after an hour or so. I'm not going to claim that this lasts all day, but I do feel like at least after several hours, I still smell all of the Sol de Janeiro products on my skin. Okay, now that we've talked about my top 3 from every product, I want to just briefly touch on some things that I have been trying and I don't like, things that didn't necessarily make it into my videos so that you don't pick them up, or rather I give you the opportunity to hear why I don't like it before you make your purchasing decision. The first one is a product that I hated. I can't find it in front of me right now, but I need to find it because I will be returning it, and that is the Say Slip Tint Concealer. I tried to film a video of this, a review of this the other day, and I filmed it, but I looked so bad by the end of the video that I almost was like, I don't know if I want to put this on the internet. It coagulated on my under eye area so badly that it looked like my fine lines were seeping and oozing concealer. I had never experienced anything like that in my entire life. When I first applied it, it looked great, but it wore terribly. Creased, was a mess. It looked gross. So for me, Personally, the New Stay concealer was a major no from me. It might work for you, but I'm just telling you, it didn't work for me. Another product that I wouldn't say like skip altogether, but really think about before you purchase is the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Illuminating Blush. I did a whole video about these. I feel really torn on them, but at the end of the day, they're like a really pretty blush topper. So you have to ask yourself, do I want to pay money for a blush topper? If the answer is yes, then these are nice. If you expect these to be a blush, then you are going to want to skip these. I did wear one as a blush topper today and I really liked it. But again, they're marketed as a blush and they're more of a blush topper, which is just kind of like an added step to your makeup routine that I don't think is necessary. If you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. Let me know in the comments below what questions you might have about products. Like if you're like, hey, you didn't cover XYZ in your video, do you still recommend that product, etc. I will be glad to answer that. Also, please follow me on Instagram if you are not already. I post additional content over there and it really helps out my channel. I will have it listed above. And if you do decide to shop the Sephora sale and this video was helpful, I would really appreciate if you consider shopping my commissionable links down below and subscribing to my channel. Thanks so much and happy shopping.